All right, so Ferry is in already, so we can start, yeah? Is everybody in front of keyboard already? In front of the screen? Okay, all right, so let me share my screen first. All right, so I've updated. Right, the only thing I haven't updated is the templates for the project. So because I want to make some changes to customize it for Sabah, but for the others already uploaded, okay, including the the forms you need for the proposal. Okay, so I just want to remind everyone also, hang on now. Before we continue, let me just change my screen first. Can I ask whether you guys have approached anybody within the list I gave the previous time? Let's check that. Kevin approached any of the lecturers? How about Farah and Noel? Haven't. Okay, so this is really you need to meet them because once they become your supervisor, right? You can then discuss with them about your proposal, your ideas. Yeah. Or obviously, you don't ask them for you know details about your proposal lah, right? Because the idea has to come from you guys lah, right? But once you have an idea, okay, that means you prepare a little bit lah. Once you have the idea what you want to do, okay, then you can bring it up to them. Make appointment, yeah, make appointment. Uh, I uh, I suggest you make appointment and then you prepare everything. And when you meet them, you can go straight to the point. What guidance you need from them in terms of your project title and the functionality of your application that you're thinking of proposing. So this on your screen, I just want to remind you so that we can provide some context on our discussion about the whole FYP. Yeah, right. So you're in this year 2, semester 2. As you can see, you're doing component network software project management, right? So you can see that the next semester you have project 1. I think I discussed earlier with you, so I just remind you earlier. And then the semester after that is project 2. So these are our contacts. So you're right now in here, right? Year 2, semester 2. So the proposal is in this semester, right? So once you get the supervisor and the proposal, right? Must be completed within semester, like this semester, your proposal. And then moving on to the next semester, based on your proposal, you will then perform, this specific project 1 is the design partner, user requirement, design introduction, all these things, right? That's a deliverable. I will go with it with you in more details, yeah? And then the third part, year 3, semester 1 means your project 2 means the implementation and final report submission, right? So you'll get marks for your proposal, but your proposal marks will only be entered into the intranet as part of the project 1 marks, right? So you get whatever additional work you need to do, which we're going to discuss in project 1, okay? The marks will be added with your proposal marks, right? And that forms your project 1 marks, right? And then finally, your project 2, you got implementation, other rubrics lah. I will discuss the rubrics. So for your project 2, okay, the final report will be a combination of the report you produce in project 1 and project 2. And then your final submission will be the complete project report plus your application and a few more things lah I will discuss. All right. If you find any question, just unmute yourself and ask me the questions. Yeah. Right. So now I'm going to go back to our right here. Right. You notice that this is our general. This will run for about 3 semesters. Anything will be updated in this Google Classroom, and any general announcement, right? So from after you have selected and confirmed your supervisor, you should really need to do that. Consider, right? And you still remember the list or not? Is Puan Suryani, okay, Noshikin, Miss Lee, and I think it's myself, yeah, right? So you have 4 lecturers that you can uh, select, okay? All right, so let's go first to the course files. Okay, so course file will show you the 2 course specs for project 1 and project 2. Right, so let's just have a look at project 1. So go through it. The course file is the same as other courses. You should go through and have a read through it, just like the information there, right? Talks about the CLOs, okay, for project ones. So you can see it's mapped to program learning outcome. So if you want to know the mapping, check back your student handbook. It should be there, right? So that you know what is the program learning outcome mapped to your course learning outcome for project 1. So you can see assessment is a project proposal. So this project proposal is being assessed this semester, right? For project 1, you got literature review, project design, research methodology, and responsibility basically is to maintain contact with your supervisor. Okay, at minimum, you should try to contact your supervisor at minimum once a week lah. And again, you have to arrange with your supervisor for both parties to have the suitable time and date and time, right? And of course, you should prepare every time before you meet your supervisor. You should already prepare what you want to discuss about. All right. So basically, once you make appointment, right, and the supervisor will keep track of all your meetings. So this is part of this responsibility part, right? You have responsibility to meet with your supervisor, to update your progress to your supervisor, and also for guidance. Okay, for guidance, we'll talk about the guidance part of responsibility from the lecturer's point of view, lah, your supervisor point of view, and also what is expected of out of you. Right, so responsibility is part of the assessment for project 1. Right, so the forms, I just want to talk about the forms. Sorry, the appointments. So the lecturer will, or the supervisor will fill up this as a record of all the meetings, right? And to confirm that because both party must this must be proof to say that okay, you have met supervisor. Supervisor said yes, we've met. So the supervisor might fill in here, and the student's signature is required from you, and then at the end, it's part of the filing, right? Course filing for this to ensure that students actually keep well up to date with their progress, because there are some students, especially because this is first time for our program here, but it's not the first time for me lah. And also I know the in KL main campus, especially during pandemic, some students just go into their shell. They don't, because they also have other workload, yeah. Okay, because they're not doing, and also you guys are not only doing project, you also still have courses, other courses during semester. So some of them are so caught up with other things, they basically don't meet the supervisor. Now, it is not the responsibility of the supervisor to chase after you guys, yeah. Okay, so it's your responsibility to find a meeting, right? Find a date and time with a meeting with your supervisor, right? So don't wait for the supervisor to chase after you, because they might have other students, other project. They also have other things lah, right? They that means it's your responsibility to contact your supervisor, arrange the appointment, and meet with the supervisor, right? So usually at the beginning, when you're still unsure, right, there will be a lot of meetings lah, right? But once you already make a lot of progress, then it's just basically the the meeting will only be usually progress report. Okay, maybe very short sometimes. You just inform the lecturer, oh, supervisor, okay, I've updated here. You know, this. I'm having this problem. I'm trying to solve it. Okay, so far I'm still progressing to solve the problem like that. Yeah. Okay. One of the thing is I want to mention earlier, not later. We'll look at it. Is that the supervisor can guide you, okay, guide you, and maybe provide a little bit of help in terms of guidance in terms when you encounter technical problems. Technical problems basically, I will tell you that sometimes when you're programming, you find so this project is actually a training for you guys also, that you might encounter the same thing when you go out to work. And when you go out to work, you will also be the same position. So this is a chance for you to learn how to do research, okay? How to fix certain things, how to do certain things, certain technology, right? You might be able to use a lot or most of the things that you've been taught, but you might need to learn a few things during the completion of your project, your application, right? And that is part of the learning process of doing the final year project, right? Because when you are applying for internship and applying for work after the degree, okay, usually if you have made a very good application in terms of software lah, you can use it in your CV as portfolio, right? Then you can show to your employee or your even during internship, right? So they will look at it, right? And you it's the time for you to impress on them. Okay, I can tell you, one of my students, they actually one of the good ones are managed to impress the company, so that not sure about Sabah companies, but in KL, right? He during internship he is paid 2K, okay, RM 2K even during internship. Now this is something uh, not definitely you get paid because it's internship. But if they want you, right? They want to attract you because you'll be internship in the bachelor degree is slightly different from diploma, because you are now just a step away from graduation, means you are well on your way to become a proper developer. So they will see, one of the things they will see is your final year project, okay, what you have done. And that is when during the interview you will share with them what you have done. And if you have done a good job, then you will be very confident to talk about the technology you use, the overall thing about your FYP. So it's something, it's a chance for you, right, to create something, to show your worth to your internship placement, and also for finding a good job lah, right? So I can tell you it's not impossible. There are students, okay, that is able to even get 2K even during internship, right? And I remember some of my students, right, last time from here, Sabah, when they after work, Okay, they they actually got the job. If you like the company, right, during your internship, you might well be offered if they like you as well, right? Okay, so just recall that they want to look for someone who is not only academically good but also very good in soft skill. Means you the way you carry yourself in communication with others, and all the soft skills that you try to collect points, right? Remember, those are very important to industry, okay, to companies. So you might want to make full use of developing that, okay, even during FYP. So your communication with your supervisor can be framed as your supervisor, maybe your supervisor during uh, in the real working world. Sometimes when we enter the working place, someone is in charge of you, right? So this is the time when you are practicing how you communicate, uh, being professional and things like that. All right. Okay. Uh, just briefly on project two. Okay. So project two, you can see that content will be the prototype. Okay. When you build the system you build, of course, it's a prototype. It's fully working. Although it says here prototype, but it's fully working, right? It's the only reason why it's considered as prototype, right? It's because sometimes, let's say, okay, sometimes like my one of my students, he built a system that can recognize food image. For example, if you take picture using a phone on a on a a food, yeah, a breakfast, then they recognize it as nasi lemak. The thing is, a really good system will have a variety of breakfast the system can recognize, right? But because of the short period of developing the application, and maybe the requirement to do machine learning on every type of food type, so then just to show proof of concept, meaning to say that if your system can recognize maybe nasi lemak, nasi goreng, maybe two or three, even two or even one is enough because it's proof of concept. That means you don't have to your system, as long as your system is able to do what you say, right? Even though it's not fully complete, like in the sense that, like what I said before, like recognize all types of breakfast. Okay, it will take some time, right, to do the machine learning. But maybe recognize one or two types of breakfast. You show that you are able to do that. It's already considered complete, right, for the project, right? So final year project documentation, presentation, pitching. This presentation, you can do the presentation of your application, right? Either by recording it previously or depending on the supervisor, whether the supervisor want a live presentation or a recorded presentation is the same. Responsibility is the same as project one, yeah? Right, so I'll talk about that already. Right, anything, not only during this time, if you have any question, please let me know. Okay, or you can ask your project supervisor as well. So the rubrics is very important for you. Project one rubrics is basically how your supervisor and the moderator, okay, you assign a supervisor. Supervisor will provide the marks for your project, and it will be moderated by another lecturer. So you'll be assigned a project supervisor and project moderator. Okay. So the moderators is the one that give a balance, right? A balance, provide balance to the marking. Okay. If your supervisor provide too high, the moderator thing is too high, why? Can then they will have discussion about, okay, so the moderator will provide their marks, and then basically your marks will be an average between the two, right? So you can see here under project proposal is the two criteria: the content and innovativeness. So this semester, if you're doing your project proposal, these are the two things you need to uh, look at lah, right? So that you can get good marks, right? You can see proposed project is useful, meaningful. Proposal contains entrepreneurship in the form of solving social issue to community. This something that means it's useful lah, not necessarily community, but it can be for community as well, right? Later we'll see the project content in the information guide. Includes innovativeness in user experience. So we don't want to replicate. We don't want to just replicate an application that's already out there. Okay, so you might do a literature review that includes application very similar to what you're proposing, but you are saying that yours has something additional or something different that is more useful. Okay, so usually my views students, they will do a matrix to compare functionality. Okay, because I will ask them, what do why would people want to use your software if this software already exists in the, you know, in out there, right? So they will justify by having comparative matrix. So they will say, oh, this have this is mine, have this, tick tick tick, right? So that is one way to show that there's innovation lah. Innovation means you propose something that with additional features or better way of doing things or the UI is simply better, right? Or something like that lah. Huh? Right? So you can see includes innovativeness in user experience or technical implementation, right? So like in fact, let's say the software is now recognize the nasi lemak. It's actually to calculate the calories. Okay, so one of the innovative part is, okay, so you can enter all your calories, but with the automatic detection of the breakfast, let's say, so the student app will just take a picture or get a picture of the breakfast, and then you say, oh, nasi lemak. So nasi lemak from a nutrition database can get the can agak-agak the amount, and then the nutrition database, you get the calories, and then so the system automatically give you, oh, this nasi lemak, right? One portion will have this much of calories. So if you eat this, your calorie intake for today already how many percent? And if you have exercises, then you still within the good what lah for your calorie intake for today, something like that lah. So it's kind of got innovation like that, and make it easy for the user to use the app. Maybe also interesting, right? It's interesting like that. So rather than just, oh, I enter myself, okay, something like that. Right. So then literature review and requirement analysis, system design, meeting with supervisor. These are the rest of the project one. So this number 2, 3, 4 is being assessed next semester. So this project proposal is being assessed this semester. So your marks for the project proposal is 20 marks overall for project one. Okay. Okay. So this basically you're getting this 20 marks this semester, which will add to your marks in project one. Okay, you can see the ratio of 20, 30, 40, that is about 100, right? So out of the 100 marks for next semester project one, 20 marks is from this semester's project proposal. Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone?
So far, yes.
Okay. All right, good. Then I briefly show you the rubrics for the project two. Project two, of course, you can see working system prototype. This basically, I always advise students between project one and project two, right? Because project one is one semester, project two is the next semester. after their exam, I always ask them, please start implementing your code. Because if you take the time between the semester, and there's a lot of time there, is you can like complete quite a bit of chunk of your coding or your research to do the coding between the two semester. I always advise after your exam, rest for a while, then you proceed. Okay. Um, Again, this is a sacrifice that the student have to do lah, rather than go for maybe holiday or whatever, can straight away start lah, right? Because uh, it gives you less pressure during the semester to complete, right? To complete the application and also to write the report, right? So the FYP report there, 30% presentation, right? Again, I said the presentation can be live or can be recorded. It depends on the supervisor. So you ask the supervisor lah, which one they prefer. Sometimes the supervisor will ask the moderator to join in. And sometimes the moderator can notice something and can suggest something lah, so some improvement or something lah. They will mention after presentation maybe, right? So yeah, the live presentation is preferred lah, because you get feedback straight from the uh, you know and also the moderator also needs to to see your app, right? And you presenting it, right? And then also give marks, because both moderator and supervisor will be giving marks, right? And average between them, right? Meetings with supervisor, again, this is your honors to arrange the appointments. Okay. Even if it's you have no question, just update your supervisor with your progress. Okay, update them with the progress. Say, oh, this week maybe this short, yeah. Just update you with what I was doing, or even if you have not done nothing because maybe you're doing an assignment. Okay, inform your supervisor. The supervisor know what's going on, right? And the supervisor might be able to, maybe just um, guide you or inspire you or motivate you or remind you, okay, of deadlines. All right. Okay, so you can access that. So these are the tentative, as you can see, tentative, what should we say? Deadlines lah, deadlines, right? So to guide you, so you have milestones. So you have to be very responsible about the deadlines. Sometimes really you cannot meet the deadline. Okay. That means this is the time when your communication with your supervisor is good, right? And I'm pretty sure all supervisors will consider if you have a good reason lah. Because if they know you've been meeting them, you've been working hard, just because of something happen lah, we don't know, makan. So you miss the deadline, so you can inform your supervisor, right? Also know lah, right? So they might allow, okay, slight delay or a little bit of delay or whatever delay. Okay, it's easier to ask for that if you've been showing your supervisor that you've been working on it lah, right? So they know it's not because you didn't do and then suddenly last minute then you want to do, right? Okay, because you shouldn't do that now. And this is quite substantial. Okay, quite substantial. This is your capstone. This is something out of your degree that allow you to build something like this. That's why I say it can be used as a portfolio for your employment, for your internship. Okay, people want to see, oh, this is your project, right? This is your project. This is what you are able to do after you do the degree. Could be something like that, right? Because and a lot of employers they know this, so they will, even if you don't tell them about your project, they will ask you. Most of them will ask you. So what have you done for your bachelor degree project, right? Okay, so take this seriously, yeah. This one, okay. Okay, so for this semester, so right now we are here. So your submission for your proposal is 29, and your supervisor will take the time to go through it and will advise you if there's any revision. Okay, right? Remind them lah. It's not set in stone. If something the supervisor not, when they look at your proposal, hey, this one, something, then you can improve on it. Okay, and then once the supervisor is happy with it, and they will then forward it to the moderator. The moderator then will look at it, and if the moderator catch something your supervisor didn't see, okay, because we are all human, we are all busy, maybe miss out something. The moderator can also comment back to the supervisor. Supervisor will relate to you, and you make modification, right? Make modification to it. So there's because this reflect the real world where you propose a project, not necessarily they straight away accept it now, right? You sometimes it's a back and forth until they, oh, this okay, then this proposal is the one that is okay lah, right? And then accept it, right? Okay, of course it will be minor, right? Okay, not if you work with your supervisor, it should not be a major change, right? Major difficulty on the proposal. Shouldn't be that. Right? So have a look at the project deadlines. Now let's talk about, okay, before we talk about the FYP information. So these are the three forms that you have to fill in when you submit your proposal. Form 1, basically just details. Okay, fill up the details, all right? And Form 2, there's already some hint or guidance for you, but this is the template that you should. This is word. So you have to replace it lah after you read the whatever. So you need the project title and a short abstract here. Okay, what's the problem you identify, and what solution you propose, and what is the target market? That means you write the application. Who are you targeting this to? Who are your target market? What are the demographic, right? And then is your app going to be submitted for competition, right? You can, right? If you we have competition, FYP competition at the end of the, and we might submit compete against branches and main campus. Okay, we before I have a group, a couple of students from Sabah. Okay, they join since cert, cert, they pass cert, they pass their diplomas, and then they go into degree, right? And during the degree, they submit for competition their final year project. Two of them, because remember you can do group 2. Just make sure that the amount of the work for each will be substantial. They managed to get in their program 3rd place, right? 3rd place. So 1, 2, 3. So and if you consider there's hundreds of students, okay, especially in KL. So it's not impossible to win. Okay, to win. Maybe can do do even better, go to for second or first place, right? Or and contribution. If it's not for competition, in terms of contribution, who will be benefit and what kind of benefits those target market, right, will have when they use your app. There's always a reason why people write application, right? Is to fulfill certain needs or to solve certain problems or to provide solution. Yeah, we don't, unless it's for hobby. Yeah, we don't really, even hobby is to fulfill that hobby's um, purpose lah. Why you write the program, right? So you can see, right, depending on your target market, how is it going to be contributing to them, right? Milestone are the, whenever you are doing a project, this is a project, right? So you don't simply do and then hope for the best. You have milestone to guide you, your completion at each stage of the progress. Just like when you are traveling from, let's say from here, from KK, you want to go to Kundasang, right? The milestone, that's why the name comes from that, right? Although we use kilometers here. Milestone indicating your progress. So you can see, oh, kilometer, how many kilometer until reaching Kundasang, how many kilometer. So milestone here also indicate that your progress, where you are in your project, all right? So that you can basically guide yourself whether you are on track to complete, right? We'll look at the sample, and then references are the references that when you're doing literature review, for you have to get some information in order for you to think about what you want to propose, what kind of solution. There will be references that you need to put in, right? So put it here, list references in Harvard format. We do referencing using Harvard format, right? Okay, so let me show you the proposal example. So discuss with your supervisor whether your title is okay or not. It should directly tell the person that what is your app all about. So you can see here, stress reduction and performance improvement of academic staff through resource management. So that means it's something to do with resource management, helping the target academic staff. And what is it? What is purpose? To reduce stress and to improve performance of the academic staff, example. And then you provide an abstract, okay? A very short summary. What is it about? Okay, so you identify the problem that you want to solve, right? So talk about it here. Okay, so you don't just tell a story out of nowhere. You can see here in this example, very good example, is they actually read some articles about it to support what they say. Because some people say, or some peer review say, is it true? Really? Or is it only you say, right? The problem. Only you say you got a problem. How do we know that it's really a problem? So, in order to support your statement, right? Because you say, oh, stress reduction really got stress, eh? What and how can you reduce or whatever lah, right? So that's why we use citation. We cite articles, paper, whatever, right? And then the citation is linked to the reference list. Okay, this is citation. That means this person is citing Tai and O'Brien 2002. So of course there will be a Tsai and O'Brien. Yeah, here 2002. So let's say they ask the question, oh, really true? Then you say citation. Oh, is it this person? Yeah. All right, they're going to follow up, right? Why are experienced teachers leaving the profession of something to do because too much stress, too much all this, right? Because that's what you said. So you're basically supporting your statement. So now the unbelievers will see, really? Oh, yeah. It's actually out in this research article say they actually find out, yes, it's a very serious problem. Teachers are experienced teachers. Very hard to get experienced teachers, and we need experienced teachers to teach students. But they are leaving the profession. Why? Because you already mentioned up here, right? Your quoting or your citing that the fact that this research already say. So it's a very something serious, lah, right? So you say, oh, that's why I want to write this app, right? So that hopefully, okay, with the reduced stress and improve their performance, no teachers will leave their profession. We need them. Okay, that's how you write it lah. You set the problem and you provide citation to support your statements. All right, and then here's your solution, right? So of course, here it says this research, right? This research. Okay, so we'll talk about the different types of project. Okay, there are research project. Okay, there are application development project. There are industry link project, right? We'll talk about in the guide. Now, very briefly, research means you want to provide some kind of answer to certain things. Whether it involve writing programs or not, it depends. But writing application, you go through it just like any software development methodology. You indicate what kind of project methodology you want to do. So a software development methodology, maybe agile, maybe waterfall, things like that. And then of course, you have all this user requirements, system design, UI design, or system testing, all these things. Those are the normal software development methodology, and you could fashion your report on that. Okay. I think research methods you guys have already learned before from Miss Patricia. So for the research-based project, then you utilize more of that type of work, right? Now for industry-based means all the requirements already given to you, because a real industry, a company, they want you to solve something, and they already want provide all the requirements to just follow that one, right? So that's another way to frame your project, right? And then you mentioned about target market, right? And what competition, either competition of what you want to talk about, competition or contribution, right? And then here is the milestone, right? So milestone, and then you set yourself the deadline. Please refer to the deadline document I shared earlier on, so that you can frame your milestone to be compatible with that one, right? Compatible with that. That one is general. This one is more detailed, because you actually know what you're supposed to do in order to develop your software. So this is where your SAD, software engineering, software development, project management, all those that you have learned combined together to come out. Because a software developer knows exactly what needs to be done in order to complete an application. So all the courses that you look at, you will make use of those, to fashion out this milestone. You can see concept approval, requirements review. Not necessarily you have to put the milestone words in this way. This is an example. You can use keywords or phrases from software engineering or software development, okay, to put it there. What makes sense to develop software, right? And then of course the references. Okay, so this is the main thing that you need to produce. Okay, this is the main thing you need to produce. This will be read through by your supervisor. your supervisor also, of course, already have a guide you to go through this. The scope, basically the scope, because sometimes we're not experienced, we're not sure the scope, too big, too small, right? Too big means you cannot complete on time. Too small means it's not suitable for bachelor degree, capstone, or final year project. It's too small lah. It's like maybe it's like an assignment, okay? Right? If you guys feel like, oh, this software I'm proposing is like an assignment, no? Then you know it's the scope is too low. Okay? Maybe you're too ambitious and you don't realize. This one your supervisor will remind you. Okay, oh, I think this one is too 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 big. I don't think you can, you can complete it on time, right? So maybe make the scope smaller, reduce the functionality or something like that. All right. So that will be the guide. Now, form 3 is the proposal moderation, right? So this one is the form that you fill up on top here, and then the moderator will go through your submission just now, the proposed right form just now, and they will tick comply or not, right? And if comment and changes recommended by moderator, if they pick up something, right, and they recommend, oh, maybe I still think too big, or oh, maybe it's not, doesn't have the innovation. Which part is innovative? Or hey, maybe you can add in some AI, AI module on to do this one, automate it a bit, right? Okay, and then this part is that then supervisor will inform you, right? And then you will discuss with supervisor, and then this supervisor will write down here what's the action taken. Okay, whether you,
So
yeah, sorry,
what is cohort?
sorry, what is
Cohort
cohort?
at the top. Yeah.
Cohort is your group, your own group. It's easier to, that means your own group when you join the program together. So your that is your cohort,
Oh,
because
so
let's say
our
this in June there's a promoted students join in, right? But from second year, in your second year, the diploma students join your program, but they are their own cohort. Their cohort is the promoted diploma students. Your cohort join the program from year one, so that's your cohort. So it's like to say that the group of students that join the program at the same time, we call that cohort.
cohort is cohort 1.
Uh, your cohort is 2020 year 1 entry May cohort lah. Yeah,
Oh, like that. Okay.
it's more accurate to give all those, because and then you have the next entry is your second year, right? Year 2 entry, June intake. That's another cohort. And this year, during the May, there's also another cohort, year 1, join in, right? So that's why we use cohort to indicate the same group joining in the program. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So going back to here, action taken by supervisor. Oh, nearly 1 hour already. Action taken by supervisor means the supervisor will discuss with you lah, comment by the moderator. Not necessarily you follow moderator. If you don't follow, then of course you feedback to moderator through your supervisor. Say, oh, why? But usually it's very the critical comment usually is good lah. Okay, they pick up something. That's why we need moderators. Pick up something that was not considered, right? So, and then the assessment. Okay, 10 marks on content, 10 marks on innovativeness, right? And then of course signature, right? So these are the 3 things that you will complete and submit. right? But project form 2 is the one that has the content, the content. So basically, you just prepare this. But to prepare this, usually you will have to discuss with the supervisor, because you will propose the project title, you will propose the functionality, okay, functionality of the system, right? So in fact, inside here, right, the solution, you could add in the features of your program, right? Because I think this one is research one, okay? Right. So we just quickly go to here before we finish. Sorry, you have class at 1?
No.
No, so I just go through this. It's quite long, so I just, maybe some parts you read yourself, some parts will focus on. If you want me to focus on certain parts exactly, so I will spend more time. So you can see that the table of contents here, read through, and for program specialization, that indicates to you what are your projects supposed to focus on. You look for this, your RSD, right? RSD FYP. Okay, so later when you go to program specialization, that the content, this will guide you. Okay, let's go straight to that rather than delay 26, page 26. Let's go to page 26. So basically that tells you the expected content because you're from that program, right? It's unfair. Suddenly we want to talk about information security if that's not your focus, right? Your software system development. But for students from Bachelor of Information Security, then the program or the application or whatever they're supposed to build for the FYP must have more content of information security, for example, right? So let's look at this one. This one is geared for you, so you read for this part. Others are general, but this one is your specialization. So let me just go through. So see, provide opportunity for you to apply your technical knowledge and advanced programming skill in software and information system development. So we don't expect you to do research-based project. We expect you to develop software, or IS, right? So include project development and implementation of industry relevant information systems, distributed computer system. This is or web services. It could be web app. It could be very seldom desktop application, because you nowadays you want to capture the interest of the industry with this as your portfolio. So industry nowadays, desktop application is not so in. Okay, I just tell you lah. They want to move towards web application, cloud application, or mobile application, right? And the technologies or frameworks that are related to this kind of application, right? So and so on and so on. You can see mobile and web application for commercial purpose. Besides opportunities to work in industry through real life projects on software development and implementation of IS. Unlike software engineering projects, we know we have software engineering diploma in this our branch, and I think the bachelor is only going to start into 2023, right? So we're preparing for that. Okay, so for software engineering students, bachelor, right? Software engineering projects could be more they could do something that is a little bit different kind of software compared to RSD, right? So it says here, unlike SE, you guys will develop applications that are more practical and industrial based rather than proof of concept, right? So software engineering students, they, for example, they have a course on AI, a little bit harder. I think there's a lot of the subject a little bit more harder. So they have AI. So for them, when they use machine vision, for example, okay, one of the student project was to identify, um, when you're driving, you have camera in front of your car can identify in real time, identify the signboard at the side of the road and immediately recognize that signboard, that traffic sign means what. So the software will recognize that and maybe use a neural network like deep learning, kan? Terus it can then tell the user, oh, because the user don't have to, they focus on driving, they don't have to look at the sign in because it's safer lah. Don't have to look for the sign when you're driving. So uh, if the AI can recognize it, the AI can tell the the driver without the driver having to look and be distracted. Okay, but that means they don't have to have it 100% working. They can show that, oh, for this a proof of concept, I can do it. My software can detect and that means inform the driver. Driver don't have to. Okay, software engineering student can do software like this, right? You guys have to write a more practical industry base. That means can be used straight away. You don't have to go for this kind of proof of concept. Okay, but again, case on case basis. If you are able to, then no problem. For example, there are students from RSD that did a machine learning, semantic and semantic, the meaning, right? Semantic and what was that? The other one. There are two types of analysis. Semantic is the meaning, and secondly is I always forget this one. Is the software is able to detect the feeling behind certain statement from social media posts, right? So they use uh, they scrap the post from Donald Trump. I mean, all the people got commenting on Donald Trump, and they can show that how or what are the important things that people were talking about in the social media for Donald Trump, and then what kind of sentiment. Sorry, yes, semantic and sentiment. What kind of sentiment you can extract lah. So it means people may say something, post something, but what kind of sentiment? Are they angry? Are they happy, neutral, or whatever, disgusted, or whatever? So the software is able to classify all this, right? For maybe a few years worth of posts, right? And perform the analysis so you can tell, oh, the top five issue people have when they talk about in with Donald Trump is this, and um, maybe 80% of them feel very angry about it. Something like this lah. There are RSD project already done on this. So can be case to case basis, but usually uh, most because you don't learn you didn't learn about AI in very detail in your program, so we can't expect you to do those kind of project. So mostly practical and industry based. Now it can be an application. So depending on your uh, rationalization in your proposal, you can write like this example. Uh, a couple of students they wrote uh, part of the smart campus like for example, students want to find rented property. They want to stay during their bachelor degree, so we don't have system. So they built a system to connect the students, which are the tenant and the landlord, okay, landlords, right? And the system connect them together, handle the contracts, handle the, all the things lah, something to do with tenancy and agreement and landlord. Okay, make it easy for the student. There are students also build system where it's lost and found. They digitalizing the lost and found system so that they identify what the problem with the manual system. Okay, why if you build a digital system, it's better, right? So they build something like that. Also for students, because KL campus is very big, so students always lose things, lose things, yeah. So they even have a counter for lost and found. So this is a thing lah. So there's a lot of things that you can figure out. This kind of projects also can be done lah, right? Okay, so you can see the set projects will be one of information system development related includes substantial amount of ISD content. Example project include but not limited to those shown in this table, right? Research project, right? You can do research project, or you can do application project. Application project means you build an application. So you can see example. Not limited to this. You have to figure out something. But if there's a problem, why? So, for example, let's say you said payroll management system. What's wrong with the current one? Or which are target? Because payroll is a lot. Payroll in what industry, whatever. So, which kind of industry or which kind of target market is payroll management system for? And what's wrong with the current ones? Why you need to build another one? You think these are the kind of things you want to figure out. Okay, what is worth to write another application based on payroll management system, even if it's already written, right? If you can say why, what are the problems you identified, and what are your solution, what is the innovative solution that you provide that makes it better than the current one, improve it, right? Okay. Okay, so you can think about our campus. What is system available? If you can, you can um, ask like maybe make appointment, ask the staff, right? What are the system available now that is they have problems with? Okay, not the intranet lah. Intranet is something, or maybe something missing from the intranet. Something missing from the intranet could be possible, right? Yeah. Okay, whether it's from the student point of view or from the faculty point of view. Okay. Right. So then you might look at others, like for example, our software engineering. You can see, as I say, more AI. The thing is, we also encourage as part of the innovative part of the RSD project, but it is not the focus. It is an extra thing that you can say, oh, this innovative. You can add in some AI part also. But unlike the RSF, the software engineering, they really go into it, right? So that means majority of the implementation is basically on AI. But here you might put AI, but you can use maybe just implement one module or two modules. Okay, just to show that it's innovative, because the current don't have this, and you don't have to write you can use libraries, right? You can use the libraries available. Okay, if you go to GitHub, you can see a lot of libraries, Python libraries for machine learning, whatever. But it depends what you have to think first. What is the project that you want to do? What is the current problem with that project? What is something that you can bring in? Now, if you say got problem, you have to prove there's a problem. So that means, for example, what are the more popular projects? Let's say payroll. What are the more popular payroll application available in the market? What are their functionalities? You tick, yeah. See, right? Oh, you think, okay, so this. Hey, they don't have this feature, this feature. Maybe I can provide this feature, this feature, this feature. Something like that. Lah. You find out what is you do the literature review. You find out, you perform comparison, you analyze it, you find out, and sometimes you can do interview or questionnaire, okay, to people um, if they have a manual system that they don't like or digital system they don't like, why, right? But usually I'll ask my student to do that lah, to check what is the current available most popular application and read the review, do your own investigation, compare the functionalities. What are the most popular functionalities? What do you think you can improve? Let's say for the payroll management system, is it maybe cloud-based or some kind of automation inside that you can do, or make it easier to use the system? Something not provided currently, right? This is just example of application, right? Because you can figure out some other. Right. So, okay. So please read through academic honesty. Yes. The templates. Only the templates I haven't done, but the forms already given. So for the proposal ones, all the forms are there. Form 1, 2, and 3. That's what you need to complete. For templates is for actually the project, okay, for project report templates for next semester, project 1 and the rest of the project 2. Okay, I just need to update the template to customize for Sabah. So later I will update lah. Okay, but what you need for the proposal is already all there. Right, so academic, please read academic honesty. It's referred to copying or plagiarism, research ethics, and private data protection. So please read through this also to know a little bit about um, data protection. Once you start to do research, it involve data, especially company data, or if you do surveys or questionnaires or interview, right? Some of the data might be private, right? So please read through this. For example, research students, we have research students doing masters by research and also PhD, yeah, TAIUC. So for them, they have to, if they identify that they need to collect data and they need to use data, they have to, their work have to be approved by the ethics committee. Okay, I'm not saying you guys have to do that lah, but just be aware, go through this and read, right? And what kind of data that is okay you can use without getting any approval. The kind of data that you need approval basically is just those personal data. I'm not sure what kind of application you need for those personal data. I always advise my students when it comes to application, you can create sample data, your own sample data, or if you use data for, let's say, data set for machine learning or whatever, you get those that is non-copyright, maybe from GitHub. GitHub is shared, right? It's open source sometimes. Then use those as much as possible, open source version lah, right? Don't use copyright data. Copyright data, you know that belong to someone. They didn't share in GitHub for free. Be careful. Okay, you might those copyright or it involve data privacy, like person name, IC or their date of birth or where they stay, their telephone number. All these are private data, right? So please be aware if you want to use it. What are you using it for? Do you have the agreement approval, or did you ask whether you can use it? Okay, so intellectual property rights are the copyright lah. Okay, as much as possible, don't use those pirated lah. If you use, I don't know. right? It's up to you. Okay. Um, Usually we use open source one. Okay. All those library, open source library. Okay. So FYP process. This is the part. Number one, you have to complete. Right. I want you to find a supervisor. Please start to contact from the list. Right. Who you want to work with. Okay. I need to impose a deadline on this, because if you late to do this, okay, you're late to do the work. Okay, I was hoping that you guys already make during this week, you already approach lecturers. Okay, right. So, and then once you do that, maybe meet them once or twice. If you have any question, guidance, or what you're thinking of doing, after then you have to complete the project proposal, submit to your supervisor. Okay, usually supervisors will create their own Google Classroom with you, so that you can submit to them via Google Classroom. Okay, depending on supervisor lah. Okay, and then or if not, you can submit to them via the email. Right. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3 is these are all the project 1. Right. And then project 2. Right. So all these templates provide later. I customize first. Right. Okay. All right. So uh, I want to do highlight this lah. Project supervisors will not carry out research for you. You have to do the research yourself, or any literature review. They will not write the project chapters or any deliverables for you. They will not reveal any marks or grades awarded to your project. They will not correct grammatical and or spelling mistake in your report. You have to depend on the software that you use for spell checking and grammatical checking. You can get someone else who is good in English, maybe your friend or whatever, right, to check grammar, but not your supervisor. Right? The supervisor is not to check your grammar and spelling mistakes. Right? They are not supposed to provide support on technical aspect, meaning to say, this is what I was saying, that you have to learn, because in the industry, when you're working already, sometimes not everything that you study in your degree is complete. And you know, IT always progress every year. Okay, so you might be asked to learn a new thing, okay, as part of your work. So this is a training for you. So they will not teach you. Let's say you need to implement something using Python. Then you cannot ask the supervisor, oh, can you teach me how to use Python? Right? You have to learn on yourself lah. Okay. For example, normalization basically is a technique in I think statistics, right? Draw models like how to use UML diagram, something like that. Okay, don't ask your supervisor to teach you how to draw the UML diagram, or they might, if they suggest they might suggest to you, oh, you can use this software, or I think your model should be like this, but don't ask them to teach you how to draw, right? Because it's supposed to be you to do the content, right? So project selection, relevance and contribution, we've already covered that part. RSD, FYP. Okay, so IT content, project is IT related, information technology, technical skill. So you can see, because it's a capstone, and this one can be used as your portfolio. You're supposed to write substantial amount of codes for your project. That means if you feel like it's the one you're creating is like assignment, then that's enough. Okay. All right. Methodology. some kind of system development research methodology. So system development methodology is like, are you going to use Agile, or are you going to use waterfall, or are you going to use hybrid? You have to say that. Okay, and then of course you will use that when you're developing. Usually, the choice to choose which methodology is depending on the application you are writing, right? Okay. If it's a kind of proof of concept, I think waterfall is not suitable. It's like changes might happen, right? So agile, right? Practicality or innovativeness. So have a read here, right? Knowledge expansion. So this project is supposed to allow you to expand your existing knowledge, to learn something new, to use as part of your project, right? So let's say, oh, you never learn how to do mobile app, maybe Kotlin, or you know how to use web app but using PHP, but now you want to use .NET, or you want to try Azure cloud, right? Something something different that you get the chance to learn and implement, because this is what you're going to encounter in the industry, right? And scope, right? The scope should be that it allows you to complete within the boundary of your knowledge and skill and the constraints of resource available. So let's say you will say, oh, I want to do uh, the cloud, and but then cloud. If you want the cloud free, there's a certain limitation that you can do. So it's okay. Work within that limitation. For example, my student, they wanted they create a timetable to make it healthy. They auto generate a timetable for the student to perform exercise, right? And the system innovative is that based on the exercise, the system go to Google Map based on the student's location and show where is the venue to do that form of exercise. Say badminton. So the system checks Google Map, find the nearest badminton. You can base on either the closest or the highest rating or something like that. But of course, Google Map API is not free, right? So he has to work within the free version, means you can only call so many times within a day, right? So that's why it says constraint of resources available. Now, if you do need to access, we do have a server on KL. It doesn't matter KL or here, right? That you can apply for later when you are implementing the time. You can ask through me. I can apply on your behalf to get a virtual machine on our I2 hub. Okay, I2 hub in KL main campus. You can access remotely, so you can place your whatever your server for web app lah, over there. Because sometimes you want to do IoT, you need like to test a server, something like that, right? But this is for project to really implement, so you can request if you need, right? Let me know, right? So that's the scope, right? Any project title does not comply with the above requirement, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 will not be accepted. Okay, your supervisor will know this. So project types, application projects, this is basically mainly what you're going to do. Or you can do research projects, okay? Or entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means there is a current need from industry that is linked with Utah UC, and you might want to take up on that. Okay, normally this is very difficult to get. Normally the best student only is chosen because this is a real life project, right? So usually the best students will be selected for to do the entrepreneur. Okay, all right, because cannot afford to what uh, you have to apply to this one CBIVE EV, right? And then will be if you're selected, then okay, you're doing the entrepreneur, right? Okay. And sometimes this project is really innovative, something that is can be categorized as a startup, a unicorn startup kind of app, right? Then that means there's potential after the final year project can be marketed lah. It can be we can pitch to venture capitalists and or angel investors, and they will pump in money for you to develop your idea further. These are entrepreneurial, huh? Okay, all right, huh? Because just like Facebook, last time was normal only, right? Written by a college students while in college, right? Now Facebook is like, you know, a billion-dollar company, right? So who knows, right? Who knows? Your idea might be submitted as a, iSpark project, entrepreneurship, right? All right. So here are typical chapters in your FYP. Have a look at it and uh, read further. Okay. So I'm not going to touch on that. Here's the project proposal part. Please read through. Now, we don't have time to go through a lot. One and a half hours already. Um, this one, please just go through on yourself, right? And maybe at the beginning of project one, I will go and cover this back. Okay, project one deliverables and all these things. For now, just go through it and read, so you get a bit of idea, right? A bit of idea what you're supposed to do over all 3 semesters, but focusing on project proposal. Important thing, you guys have to uh, uh, approach the lecturer I mentioned, the list of lecturer I mentioned, and ask them uh, if they want to be your supervisor. Okay?
So project one focus on the concept, whereas project two focus on the implementation.
Yes, yes. When you say
Oh,
concept, it's basically the user requirement, system design, all this lah. Think about in terms of application development, what you need to do. You need to come up with the literature review. If you come up with the project yourself, means you have to do some kind of research why your project is, which I mentioned earlier on. That will generate the user requirement for you, right? And the functionality wise, sometimes you have to ask if you have a specific target market. Sometimes it's students, sometimes lecturers, sometimes it's people in out there. Okay, maybe you're writing application to help someone. Who knows, right? So maybe you conduct interview survey so that you can get the user requirement. But if it's something that your idea is not really is targeted to in general what you think, so based on your literature review, can also. That means your user requirement is based on literature review. That means you compare all the functionality of current software and you find some lacking certain things. So that's why you want to add in this your idea, right? Can also. But basically, project one is all the system design, user requirements, and all this, like introduction, all this. Okay, please look through the rubrics again, and also this document to find in more detail what's expected in project one. Project two, yes, implementation, system testing, and conclusion lah. It means your evaluation, project evaluation, what you think, what was the problem encountered, how you solve it, and things like that, including presentation lah for the bachelor project two, right? All right. So yeah, any question? Additional. So Kelvin said need to do research paper proposal. No, no, you don't have to do research paper. The form two, the only things you need to do, you fill up. But of course, you need to do some research lah. Means literature review, because if you say you want to find out what's the problem, right? Problem for the when I say problem, problem in terms of the application, trying to solve some real life problem, right? Let's say the manual system or the current digital system uh, doesn't have certain features you think is important. Why do you think it's important? Well, you say, oh, because I check, and this article say this, you know, like for example here, right? Stress reduction. The student indicate that one of the problem is that if you don't handle stress amongst academic staff, they will leave the profession, and we lose experienced teachers. Okay, so what is the current way? And then we propose, oh, solution is like this. So of course, this one is not specifically on doing an application, I think, yeah. So this is more towards research, but yeah. So you frame your own proposal in terms of application, but you don't have to write your research paper. I don't think we already uh, teach you how to write research paper. Okay. Any other question, Farah?
For me, no question.
Okay. So Noel, any other question? Maybe you want to go through the document first, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think need to go through the document first.
All right. Think about the application. Something all something that you're passionate about, something you like. Okay. And then of course you cannot just write any application. But I remember there's one group, they another supervisor in KL, they actually wrote something like something it's like a board they implemented, like Reddit, something like Reddit, but different from Reddit. They implemented something like that. So it's something that you feel you want to do, and you feel you can improve based on current available app or application, right? But most importantly, first I want you to select supervisors, right? And then make appointment, or you can message them, right? See, ask them lah to be what you're interested to get them to be your supervisor, and then make appointment to for your first meeting, right? Um, and please do this from now until next week, because if not, then I like to just pick someone to. I mean, I have to arrange who's the supervisor and the moderator for each one of you. But if you maybe I give you leeway. Maybe you have a preference which lecturer you prefer working with. Sometimes it's also because they're more approachable in terms of your idea, your project idea, right? Okay. So sorry, I took about 1.5 hours already from 12 o'clock. But it's a lot of content. Not all we mentioned, but the most relevant one we mentioned already. Please go through the project information again to help you to help you a little bit more. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Please let me know if you have approached anybody and who you like to be your supervisor, and if they agree or not. And
Okay.
Okay.
oh, intimidating. That's why you have the supervisor to guide you, right? Um, I think I will see it more as a challenge for me, not intimidating. As a challenge. Please be confident. You are bachelor's degree student already, right? That means you should have learned a lot of basic fundamental things that can help you, right? And it's just a way to prepare yourself before you go out there to work. Yeah, Kelvin, it's better to face it now rather than face it outside without any help outside in the world. You go out, your boss say, "Oh, I need you to write this application." No, 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 no. Just simply like that. So here, we do it in control environment. You have the supervisor to guide you, right? And you have all the help facility or whatever, right? Now, even after you select your supervisor, there's no harm to ask anybody else, okay, for guidance, right? Just remember that, okay? Let's say you pick A to be a supervisor, but sometimes you discuss with B also, right? B may okay give you some idea, right? And but the person that's responsible for you will be A lah, but maybe for B, lecturer B, maybe can give you ideas or maybe just a discussion or something like that. It's no problem, right? So intimidating, definitely, because everything when the first time is intimidating lah, for me also. Okay, so getting more information will slowly reduce that, Kelvin. Right? So I suggest go through the FYP general information first again, and then spend some time to think about application. Think about, if you don't think straight away about application, think about a problem and solution. Right? Sometimes certain things, certain normal things we do every day, or someone do every day, they always complain to you. Yeah, why this? Sometimes there's a solution waiting there, right? A lot of times the successful app is in response to people complaining. You know how before Grab, how difficult it is for people without cars to move around, right? And even taxi is, you have to go to, waiting for taxis takes so long, or you have to uh, walk all the way to a taxi rank to go get a taxi. Is so difficult, and taxi is so expensive, right? It was a problem. Nobody knew there was a solution, or what kind of solution. Suddenly, someone came up with Uber, Grab, before Grab, Uber, right? Wow, the Uber really solved it. You know, what we're saying is not that you don't have to come up with something like Uber app, right? Smaller version, something to maybe as a problem or something to solve certain things, or you know some student, they even write an app to help those, student always got events, right? In Thai UC always got events, but it's always done manually, right? So some students think, oh, what if we digitize it? Then will it help? Will it help with you know with the organizing of the events, right? Is there a central way for you to for the the students to organize their events, whatever events it is, and a place where students who join, or students who want to go for those student events, uh, to have a look what events is available. Something simple as, hey, you know what? It's very difficult, as new students to find friends to do studying, to go to form groups for study, form groups for makan, form groups for sports, because you're new one, right? So, will an app, if an app exists to help students to, sort of like form groups, hey, who likes to, play games tonight? It's just an app for a student to, you know, It's private. It's not like public. It's for Star UC students. And then, I mean, this is one of the app that's I've seen student created. You know, you can look at it from your own point of view, right? What would be more convenient? What is now you wish you got an app for it? Yeah. And when you think about it, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be really, really perfect. Again, the scope too big, you cannot complete. So dilute it so that the main thing that you want to solve is there. Okay, Kelvin? Okay, yeah, good. We always think positive, We always think about opportunities. Hey, come on, who knows? One of you might write from here is a springboard, then you can think of later on an app and you want to create. I always believe students are, are the ones. You start up, create a startup because you have an app idea that you can sell. Who knows? It's maybe the next Uber, the next BNB, the next whatever, right? Okay. This is a springboard for you to do that. So you guys must be excited, right? Excited to learn all the technologies to create something. All right. Okay, Farah, Kelvin, and Noel. Of course, you can use our platform, the CN WhatsApp group, for if you have any questions. Okay. The next step for you guys is to think about what you want to do and also approach the lecturer you want to be your supervisor. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I have a class later, half an hour later. So I think we end here first,
Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Thank you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Okay.